And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. You are watching Bravo 22 live on our very own YouTube channel, all made possible by the Royal British Legion and the Drive Project. My name is Matt Wightman. I began my own fantastic journey with Bravo 22 back in 2016, when I rather tentatively dipped my toes into the wonderful world of theatre and acting, only to fall head over heels in love with it. And here I am 4 years. 4 years later on, what such a long time, still splashing about up to my ears in fun and genuinely loving every minute of every production that I've been lucky enough to take part in. So it really is my privilege to be your host today. Bravo 22 Live has got together with some brilliant, fantastic, quality artists and performers from across the super wide spectrum of creativity. And you know what? The best thing is, it's all been brought directly to your home, so that you can get involved. So remember, this is interactive, so please, please, please join in, ask questions and get involved. There's a chat screen somewhere on your Zoom or your YouTube, so yeah, get involved. Let's make this a good fun session, okay? So once the session's over, please tell your friends and your family about Bravo 22. Subscribe to the channel and share like crazy on Facebook, because we need it, okay? So if for any reason one of the broadcasts isn't for you, not your cup of tea, doesn't matter, tune into something else. There's loads and loads coming up, so keep an eye out for that, okay? Right, we've got a full comedy series coming your way every Tuesday, and as today's Tuesday, I suppose we better get on with it. So I'd love to introduce to you the wonderful, fabulously funny Paul F. Taylor. Hi, Paul.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
I'm good, thanks, mate.
Good to see you. What is that that's pecking your head from behind?
That, Paul, is a unicorn.
Right, yeah, nice. Oh, a Blues Brother unicorn.
Yeah, he's a mafia unicorn. I shot him this morning in Narnia.
Oh, right, okay, cool. And yeah, well, it's good you got back in time for this. Your wardrobe must be epic.
My wardrobe's huge.
Anyway, I am Paul F. Taylor. Hello, everyone, and I am here to talk about comedy. I am a stand-up comedian who's been working on the UK comedy circuit as a professional comedian for over a decade, and I've travelled across Europe performing comedy, and I've put on 5-hour-long Edinburgh shows, and I've written for TV shows, and I've performed on Channel 4 on Harry Hill's Club Night. So in some way, I guess I'm qualified. So I'm here to talk to you about jokes and being funny with the hope of being a stand-up comedian, I guess. Are you a fan of jokes, Matt?
Oh, Paul, I love a joke. I mean, I've got one here for you, actually. See what you think of this. A 3-year-old boy sits next to a pregnant woman and said, "Why are you so fat?" And the pregnant woman said, "Well, because I've got a baby inside me." And the kid goes, "Is it a good baby?" And the lady said, "Oh, it's a very good baby." And he says, "So why did you eat it then?" I mean, is that any good?
Well, mate, yeah. I mean, yes, yeah. I mean, we didn't expect that. That is effectively what a joke is. I'm glad you've brought your baby eating joke with you, because it helps us to understand why jokes are funny, I guess.
Yeah.
What makes us laugh is surprise. Effectively, any kind of joke, anyone being funny, the reason we're laughing is because we're surprised. We didn't expect that thing to happen. Now, let's look at jokes, because all stand-up comedy, we're thinking mainly in stand-up comedy in terms of funniness here, rather than other forms of funniness. But the main reason why people laugh is because something surprises them. It's like a verbal magic trick where you think something's going to happen, and then this thing over here happens instead. So let's take a joke, all right? Let's go take a joke from Sarah Silverman. I don't know if there's any fans of Sarah Silverman. We've got a joke here, which is, hold on. It is that she has a sister, Okay. And her sister. No, I'm not going to do that Sarah Silverman joke because I've printed it. Oh, here it is. Sarah Silverman joke. My sister was with 2 men in one night. She could hardly walk after that. Can you imagine 2 dinners? I mean, obviously, I've not delivered it quite as cool as Sarah Silverman has. And it's quite an adult joke. So I hope I should have perhaps said, if any of your children are near, cover your ears. But basically, what that joke is it's leading us down one path of what something could happen, and then it switches at the end. Let's look at another kid's joke. So, for instance, we've got a joke that I loved when I was a kid, right? 2 monkeys are in the bathtub. One of them goes, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. And the other one goes, well, why don't you put some cold in then? Right? That makes us laugh because it doesn't go the way we expect. But let's break it down. I'm going to do a little visual aid for you here. I'm going to split my screen using a technology known as a broom, like sweep my kitchen with. All right, we'll put that there. So we've got two parts to my screen. Over here, I mean, you're getting the visuals here, Matt?
Yeah.
Great, okay, cool. Over here, we've got our setup, okay? So we've got like a story that is our setup over here. And then over here, we've got another story that is our punch, right? If we take that monkey joke, okay? So we've got, there's 2 monkeys in a bathtub, right? One goes, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Now, we're thinking, when we hear that in this setup world, that, okay, there's 2 monkeys in a bathtub. And they're saying, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Yeah, that's what monkeys say, isn't it? Maybe it's the zookeeper's house, you know, and he's brought the monkeys home because they were dirty, and he's put them in the bathtub, and they're in there going, ooh, 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 ah, 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 right? That is what we're thinking. So we've made the assumption there. This is this middle point. We need to make an assumption with this setup. You need to conjure this in the audience's mind, this assumption that they are 2 monkeys that are just talking monkey, going, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Then we have the punch over here. And this is a different storyline over here, but it's linked to that one. And in this world, there's 2 monkeys who actually speak English. And the reason they're going, ooh, 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 ah, 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 is because the water's hot. And it's burning their bottom, I imagine, you know, and they're turning to one another going, well, this water's hot, put some cold in. We didn't think they were talking monkeys. We just thought, with our assumption earlier on, that they were 2 normal monkeys going, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. But the point is ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah has 2 meanings. The meaning is that it's a monkey talking, probably saying, ooh, 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 ah, 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 could be anything, like, you know, don't put in your hand and throw it at me. That's something a monkey would do. But in this case, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah is also what we do as humans when we put a bottom in hot water. So we've linked the 2. We found the link between these 2 worlds, and we've smashed this assumption. This assumption no longer exists. And that is what makes us go, oh, yeah, good one. Nice. So should we look at some other jokes? You got any jokes?
Yeah, we've got a couple coming in already. We've got one here from an old friend here, Luke Delahunty. Hi, Luke. There were 2 fish in a tank, and one said to the other, how do you drive this thing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that, if we look at that joke, let's go back into our little world. Okay. There's 2 fish in a tank, right? They're swimming around. I don't know. Maybe there's a little one of those chests where they have. There's a castle in there, and there's like the money chest, and they're looking at it, going, "Oh yeah, I'm a fish. What a great day to be a fish, hey?" And they're like talking to each other. And then the other one, right over there, goes, "How do you drive this thing?" Oh no! The assumption we made that they're in a fish tank, as in a glass tank, is not true. Really, they're in a military vehicle. And one of the goldfish is probably dealing with loading the shells into the tank. Maybe the other one's steering. He's got 2 fins, and he's... So they're actually 2 military fish. And I do actually think that they should enroll fish into the military. There you go. That's your joke. You've got your 2 sides, set up and punchline. Your assumption is that it's a fish tank. But no, it's not. It's a tank. Good pun there. Nice. Got any others, Matt?
I'm all for conscripting fish. Yeah, we've got one here from Sally Ann. Hi, Sally. What do you call a fridge with a denim jacket on? Cool.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So denim jackets are cool. That's your link, isn't it? Like, but cool, not in the cool sense of being cool. Hey, over here we've got a cool fridge. That's Tim Vine.
Oh.
Yeah. Ludicrous joke. But obviously the link is that levels and levels. Yeah. Should we go through some? I mean, there's so many different structures to joke. Sure. I mean, we could probably go through some other ones. I imagine. Why don't we hit some?
I've got a couple of jokes here that have come in. There's another one from Graham Lim, and basically, I think Graham should hang his head in shame for this because this is terrible. But let's go. A horse walks into the bar. The bartender said, "Hey, what's with a long face?"
Okay. So a classic joke on long face being sad, but also long face is literally what a horse has.
Very long face.
Yeah, these are all classic kind of pub jokes or ones you get on the internet, and like often these kinds of ones actually they've been in kids' joke books. They're often quite punny. There are lots of other techniques that you can use for jokes. Like there's lots of great comedians who've done things like reversals. Let's have a look at someone like Eric Morecambe. Okay, actually no, let's do an Emo Phillips one. Emo Phillips. I picked up a hitchhiker. You've got to when you hit them. Emo Phillips is an incredible comedian, and that is so good because you're going. All the way along, you're going, oh, he's picking up a hitchhiker. You're imagining this guy driving along. La, 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 la. Oh, I'm going to pick up that guy who's got a sign saying Birmingham. And then that's what you've conjured in your head as a human. That's your assumption. It's about creating enough words that make someone imagine something and assume something that when you say the second line, everything before is completely wiped away. Oh, you've got to when you hit them. Oh, he's driving around finding people to hit in his car. He's a deranged killer. What?
I've got a couple of questions actually for you, Paul. We've got one here from Shirley Rimmer saying, where do you find, where do you get your material and how do you develop it?
Yeah, that is a trick of just listening. I walk around and I listen to stuff and I look at things and I write them in a notepad. It's literally a case of heightening your awareness and imagining you've got like this extra eye or this extra ear that's listening out for little things that everyone else doesn't notice. And once you note those down, then you can start structuring them into a joke and trying to load it with assumptions that you can later smash. That's kind of, I mean, really, it comes from everything, anything and everything. My own family, the shop round the corner, dogs I see in the street. There's jokes everywhere. You've just got to look for them.
And how do you how do you deal with heckling? This one's from Tip Cullen.
Oh, well,
he's heckled me on many occasions, I'll tell you.
Is he? By this form or in real life?
Oh, in all forms.
In all forms. Well, how do you normally deal with his heckles?
I tend to ignore him. He goes away after a while.
Oh, okay. Well, that is a technique. You can do that if you're in a stand-up gig. Generally, people don't really like hecklers. And if they are heckling, you can ignore them, and they eventually do go, oh, but no one's drawing attention to me. But
he's a lovely fella, to be honest.
Yeah, I find the best thing to do with heckles is to just accept it as true. Whatever they say, that's true, and just
move on
with it and see where you end up.
Yeah. And Alice Driver is asking, how long did it take you to put together your first stand-up set, and has a joke ever gone seriously wrong?
It took me probably about 3 months to actually put together something that I felt like was 5 minutes to do on a stage. Yeah. Turns out I probably had about 1 minute, but you have to put the effort in. It's quite time consuming, really. And in terms of things going wrong, loads of things have gone wrong. That's the whole point. You've got to like get out there and say things, and you don't know if it's funny until you get out there and you say it in front of an audience. And invariably, I'd say at least half the time you're wrong. There's nothing. You could say it, or you can't communicate what you're trying to say effectively. You've got to be able to accept that not everything you say is going to be absolutely hilarious, especially when you start.
Yeah, what do you think of the military humour that you've sort of encountered? Because they do tend to have quite a dark sense of humour going on. It can be a little bit edgy sometimes, you know.
Yeah, that's great. I think because you have to take what's from your own experience and from your own life. And military personnel have obviously experienced things in a far more heightened way than some of the general public, the civilians have. And they have an outlook on things that can be, you know, they're in situations that are tough and hard. And the way to deal with those is through humor. And I think if you have that experience and you could find a way to make it funny, you really owe it to everyone to do that. The trick as a stand-up comedian is to take you and your experiences and convert that into the best funny that you can. So if it is something that's on the edge, if you're happy and confident to say that, you should totally say that, because you are the ones who are able to do that. You've been in that experience. You own the right to make jokes on that subject. So I think I'm all for it. Do it.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite joke of the moment, or a favourite joke from the past?
Favourite joke ever? I mean, I have many jokes. There's a Milton Jones one I always love. Do you know Milton Jones?
Yeah.
He's on all the power shows, got crazy, wacky hair. I've written it down. I've got it here somewhere. I don't want to misquote it, but it is an amazing joke where he's, here we go. Okay. To the man on crutches dressed in camouflage who stole my wallet, you can hide, but you can't run.
Love it.
It's incredible because we're all expecting it to be you can run, but you can't hide. But he set it up and reversed it, this is another one of the techniques we can go through when it comes to the classes. But he's turned something on its head and then justified it in the first sentence. And it's such a funny, I love jokes with a mental image that they put in your head. If you imagine a man wearing camouflage who's on crutches trying to steal your wallet, I mean, that's ludicrous. And then he switched it around to be you can hide, but you can't run. I mean, that's incredible. I love that joke.
Awesome. We've got a couple of questions actually coming. They've got one here from Baz Barrett. Hi, Baz. How you doing? And it is, how would you build a set around puns?
Well, it's about finding links between the jokes, really. Puns are very difficult to make longer sets out of because each joke is not connected to the previous joke. So it becomes a sequence of jokes that you're just telling, which is great. And audiences will love that to a point. Like if you go and see someone like Tim Vine, he will do an hour of that. But he is well aware of the fact that people get tired of hearing a different joke every time. And you keep having to buy into these setups that are totally different. So he mixes it up with something musical or something really visual, and it will be a longer piece. And it sort of refreshes the brain of the person. So if you are a pun person and you want to do puns, I think there is definitely an argument for making something else, making like a second strand to what you do, or a second story. Like Emo Phillips, who isn't a pun slinger, but he does short jokes. I remember seeing him once, and he did all of his jokes, and he took layers of his clothing off as he was talking and stuffed them into his pocket of his trousers he had like 7 cardigans on, and he was taking them off and stuffing them in his pocket whilst he was telling his jokes, and everyone's watching it going, what is going on there? And he just keeps doing it, and then halfway through the set starts taking them back out and putting them back on, and it's getting a laugh because it's so ridiculous, but also it's a second strand to what's happening other than the individual puns. So you've got to be a bit smart about it, but you can definitely do it.
Yeah, I've got a question here from Luke Delahunty again. What do you do if you blank whilst telling a joke? And is that something that's ever happened to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that happens. And the trick is to not panic and to just either be honest and say, I've gone blank, and make something out of that, or just move on. Like, yeah, it's one of these. It's quite brutal stand-up comedy when you get into clubs. Like if you fumble on a word, it can make something that's really really funny not funny.
Yeah.
And you've just got to be strong enough in yourself to be able to go, I can deal with this. Don't panic. It's all right. You've got to make the audience feel safe.
Yeah, it must be brilliant for your confidence.
Yeah. Well, you have to be confident. Like and I wasn't when I started. I had to learn. You have to fake it initially, and then you become confident. And it's about learning to just deal with stuff in the moment and making it fun to watch you deal with it.
Absolutely. I've got a question here from Denise from the Royal British Legion. Welcome. Good to have you in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any subjects off limits in stand-up?
I think you set those rules yourself.
I suppose it would depend on your audience, would it?
Yeah, you've got to be really careful. I think it's all your own choice. If you choose to be like someone like Jerry Sadowitz, just completely doesn't care and just does what he wants, he won't get booked by everyone, but he's made that choice. And you choose what you want to do. I personally set certain rules for myself. Like I don't like doing jokes about, people being fat or anything too sexual. But that's mostly because the persona that I've generated for myself wouldn't really do that.
Yeah.
So it's really, you choose that.
Yeah.
That chooses you based upon how you come up with your material, I think. So that's really something you sort of work out as you start doing it.
Yeah. Is it an extension of your own character then?
Yeah. Like you start off with something in mind of what you're going to be, and then as you start doing it, this true you starts coming out a bit more. And sometimes you feel like you've grasped it, and sometimes it feels like it's gone away from you a bit. But as you start doing it more and more, you get what's funny. If you're really listening to the audience and listening when they laugh, you know what it is. And you can work it out and go, oh, I'm funny because I'm an idiot, not because I'm clever. And it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have to, it's a process comedy. Rather, you don't just write your set, go out there and you're amazing. You've got to work it out. It's your own journey.
Yeah. Who would you cite as your influences then from starting out?
Yeah, many influences. Sean Locke, Eddie Izzard, people like Steve Martin when he was. I was the reason why I got into comedy, because my mum loved Steve Martin films. I used to watch all of them. I watched all his stand-up. Love Steve Martin. Mitch Hedberg is an American comedian not many people know, but look him up. He is incredible. There's some. Stephen Wright was an amazing American comedian as well. I very much like the esoteric acts who conjure visuals in your head.
Yeah, as a question here from Tip Cullen again. Do you like straightforward joke telling or more funny story telling? Like Billy Connolly, or do you like a mix of things?
I mix it up. I mean, in terms of my own tastes, I'm very much looking for the gag. I want to see that someone's created a discernible joke. But myself in my own act, it flits all over the place. Like I have jokes and I have storylines, but they all have a punch. And really, Billy Connolly's stories are actually always at their very core, there's a joke there. And it's worked back to be a story. So you can appreciate stories as much as you can a joke. It's more about taking people on a journey of that when you're doing a story, I guess. I mean, what are you into, Matt? You like what's your kind of...
At the moment, with this the current situation, I've been watching loads of different things on the TV, but I really enjoy watching the 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, and it's more the stuff where it goes terribly wrong.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've actually got it's kind of a serious but genuinely good question here from Sarah Howarth, and she's asking, she's got issues with her speech. Could she use this to be funny?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. There is a comedian called Daniel Kitson who has a stutter, and look him up. He's quite, I don't know how much stuff he puts online. He tends to be quite diligent about only doing live shows, but he literally incorporates his stutter into it. If he stumbles on a joke, he just makes something of it. It's incredible. He is a genuine genius. So yes, if you have from your speech, embrace it. I think nowadays there's so many more people who have a disability or something that makes them truly unique, and if they embrace it, comedy is perfect for that. Comedy is about celebrating the oddballs, and if you have some kind of speech issues, then I really think you could find something funny in it.
Yeah,
everyone else can.
Yeah, there's a lovely lady with I think she's got cerebral palsy, and I can't remember her name, but she's hilarious. She's brilliant. She's a comedian. And can we see any of your shows online?
Yes, you can. If you go on to Next Up Comedy, there's a hour-long show that I've got on there, which you can, if you go on my Twitter feed, you can see a link to it on there or on my website. There's also some stuff on YouTube. I've put some little clips on YouTube. You can see my Harry Hill appearance.
I've seen that. It's very funny. Yeah, I think we're just about ready to start wrapping up, Paul. I think we've got a couple of minutes left.
All right, mate. Well, it's been great chatting to you.
It's been fabulous. I can't wait to do it again. And so, yeah, thank you. It's been brilliant. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Thanks.
Please come to the classes if you feel that this is something you'd like to pursue. We'd love to have you. Yeah.
Now, just a reminder, everyone, if you could send your jokes in to Bravo22company at thedriveproject.co.uk. That would be great. And if you've got any ideas you want to bring to the table for a Zoom workshop with Paul next Wednesday, again, that'd be awesome. And let's see what's coming up next. We've got on Thursday, we've got Nick Watts with Graham Lim. They're doing the art of graphic books, so that should be good. So hopefully see you all there. I'll be there, I know that much. And it's been brilliant to see you. I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed presenting it. And see you next time. Take care, guys. Thank you.